You know what I
Easy,
could
right
do
over
with
there.
that? I could do with that to people in the video store.
Which ones?
All of them.
This is Massive Late Fee with Mike and Mark.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me as always is my co-host Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Not too bad. How about you, Mark?
We've had a fine week here at Massive Late Fee. I'm sick, as you probably can hear.
Yeah, I'm also sick-ish. I have like a cold kind of thing, you know?
Yep, me too. Hopefully it's not coronavirus, but...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that you'd even be able to tell. I mean, also I get seasonal allergies around this time of year. My youngest was sick for a little bit. She seems to be doing a lot better now, thankfully.
That's good.
But I think she had an ear infection. Her ear was hurting, so, you know, she's back to her old asshole self. So it's...
Yeah. Most of it is in, my wife and I both have it, and our youngest.
Oh, I should have not continued that. You're not from Alabama.
No. But yeah, we...
no offense to our listener in Alabama.
Right, exactly. Roll Tide. But our youngest has it too. It's mostly, just drainage from the nose, so that's not a symptom of COVID-19, so I guess we're okay.
I'm actually drinking two of my wife's leftover Coronitas, which are made by Corona.
Oh, interesting. I don't know what those are.
They're just like very small beers.
Okay.
So my wife is terrible at drinking. She's just like the worst at it. So last weekend, my kids were over, and hers too. They're the same kids we share.
Right. Yeah.
They were over at my mom's, house for like the weekend or whatever. Which the first time we've been without them for years, like literally since our honeymoon.
Okay.
And so like I said, I'm like, I'll grab her some beer because every so often she'll drink it. She drank 3 of them, which I was stunned by, and they're 7 ounces each. So she basically drank 1.5 beers.
That is Alex for sure.
Yep.
But we talked about some movie. We talked about some movies last time on the show.
We did.
I was going to segue into a segment that I'm going to do after this segment, and then I remembered, so then I stopped. First,
also, I have a gripe with you, Mark.
Okay, what's your gripe?
On our YouTube page, you described our game as dead or alive, not gay or dead. I feel that really mischaracterized what we were.
Did I describe it as dead or alive?
Yes, you did.
Oh, that's
maybe you were thinking about the '80s pop synth band.
I was, yeah. What did they sing? You spin me right round.
Yep, I believe that's it.
So anyway, the IMDb game today. I wish I had a cool.
Their song is used on the website meatspin.com, which you should definitely check out. I don't think it's licensed.
Is that MEET or MEAT?
MEAT. I don't know if it's still around, but it's like a popular video.
Okay, interesting.
Why don't you check it out right now and tell us what you think?
Meatspin.com.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll check it out. For those of you that are unaware, we're all going to be in our house and, whatever, quarantined pretty soon because of this fucking madness outside. But
I think the governor said she wasn't going to quarantine or like the in-shelter quarantine in Michigan. I'm taking the webpage loaded.
Oh my god, I've never heard of this. Obviously, this is so fucking crazy.
I'm sorry, it's still there. I've seen it probably like 20 years ago. It's like a really kind of older, like a meme.
Yeah.
Did you hear the music though?
Yes, which makes it even funnier.
It does.
2 friends, 1 fish. What does that mean?
I don't want to know. All I know,
drunken fishermen give each other a hand.
Oh Lord.
Okay, so now that I want to vomit, but at least the guy's wearing a condom. I mean, safe sex, guys.
Safe sex.
So
with a fish.
The IMDb game today.
Moonlighting, the movie.
I wish. So under sex and nudity, a brief scene in a gentleman's club with a very scantily, or with very, it says with a, this is not written right, with a very scantily clad, oh, okay, forget it. It's just one.
Kingpin.
It's
Kingpin.
just one woman with a very scantily clad woman dancing in the background of a few shots. It's not Kingpin. It's not Kingpin. No. Nope.
Don't you hate when like someone says, "Oh, you know that hilarious bowling movie," but they're talking about The Big Lebowski, and it's clearly Kingpin because The Big Lebowski is. I think that's my least favorite Coen Brothers movie.
Ooh,
other than Raising Arizona, the reboot.
Well, I wasn't a huge fan of Lady Killers, so
I didn't see that one. Cruel Intentions is actually very good. I don't know if you ever see, or not Cruel Intentions. What the hell is it called? Something Actual Cruelty or something like that.
Intolerable Cruelty.
Yes, that one. That one's very good. I was surprised.
It is a very good movie. Let's see. Several instances. Could you imagine if the Coen Brothers directed Cruel Intentions?
That'd be great. Or Cruel Intentions 2.
Yeah, there you go. That would be the one I'd want to see them direct.
No wonder girls love horses. And then someone gets shot.
Oh, my God. Several instances of the S word, A word. 2 instances of balls. I'm guessing someone's saying it, not 2 balls.
Pulp Fiction.
No. I don't know, because I don't know what this is referring to. This is also under profanity. I don't know if this will give it away or not, but the phrase backing up is used, but it sounds like something else.
Suburban Commando.
No. What a weird thing.
Oh, is that like fucking?
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. During a moment in the film, the word craphead is used as if it were a term of endearment. Some TV viewings have replaced this word with the milder saphead.
What? That's worse. It's something you get jizz over your head.
Oh my God.
Oh, jeez. I have no idea. Is this the Neverending Story 2?
No.
With Jonathan Brandis, who is?
He is dead.
He was part of the Strangle compilation we had.
Right. Drugs, alcohol, and smoking. Wait, what? Under drugs, alcohol, and smoking, it's just profanity again. Oh, it just says none. But then it gives some profanity just in case. Several instances of the S word, A word. Yeah, they didn't want it to be empty. So there's no drugs, alcohol, or smoking in the movie.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Not true. No. Let's see.
Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun.
I wanna. Oh yeah.
Thank you.
I wanna read this one, but I have to. Okay, I can't read that one yet, but that one will give it to you away. I am really sick. Give it to you away. Give it to you. Give it to you. Give it to you away now. It's probably violence and gore, same thing too. Some mild
unlimited cookie.
Some mild violence, including one memorable one.
Alien?
What fucking phrase? No, it's not Alien. Okay, so there is no other thing but basically the main scene of violence that they're going to describe. So this is the under the fighting intense scenes. There is a scene where the main character of the film is violently attacked with a crowbar and axe. He expresses pain and pleads for his life. He spurts and leaks a blood-like substance throughout the remainder of the film.
Is this RoboCop 1?
No.
2?
Nope. He does eventually bleed to death during the final scene, but is rescued by...
Oh, okay. It's one of the Terminator movies then.
No.
It's Terminator 2? No?
But it's rescued by its creator, Ben.
Oh, I think we already did Short Circuit.
It's not Short Circuit.
Really?
Nope.
Ben is from Short Circuit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's weird.
He's from something else too.
Short Circuit 2?
There you go.
I believe we've done that one too, actually.
Listen to this. There is a scene where the main character of the film, Johnny Five (robot), is violently attacked with a crowbar and axe, and everything else is basically just what I read. But under, it says younger viewers, particularly small children, will find the attack on Johnny Five and the aftermath upsetting and rather distressing. And then for the third one, it says the above scene is very intense, daunting, and quite upsetting. That's basically just all three of those are one. they're just
rephrasing it.
Yeah. And then Violence and Gore says Johnny Five is violently smashed and he leaks. His leaks look exactly like blood. When he is smashed, his blood splatters on the attacker's clothes. One of the attackers is clearly disturbed by this and stalls, but is ordered to continue. Younger viewers, particularly small children, will find the attack of Johnny Five upsetting and rather distressing.
Then the Los Machos came to his rescue.
Yeah, exactly. Oh.
I need to grab a lighter because I had 2 lighters and now I have 0 lighters and I want to light this cigar. So I don't know if you want to make a break here or just keep talking. I think I know you're just going to keep talking though. So I'll be like 2 minutes.
Okay. 2 minutes of filling. Okay. So I just got an email from somebody named Rainley Ballo, which says, I'm a bit concerned with your Google Ads accounts. He says that he wants to do an overview of our account, because our ads are not actively running right now, which they're not because the entire world is on fire right now. So we're not running ads. I would be a bit more concerned about your family and friends, Rainly, than I would about my Google ads. I mean, hopefully you're working from home and, not putting yourself at risk out there in I assume California, since you work for Google. But hopefully, you're being safe. When Mike comes back, he's going to do the IMDb game, I assume, and then I'm going to talk about some movies that have come to streaming early, because no one's going to the movie theaters anymore ever. Where is this lighter? How far is this light? Is he constructing a lighter like Luke Skywalker would be constructing a lightsaber? Has he found what do they call it? Shards, the pieces of crystal that they use for in Star Wars. What are those called?
Oh my God, what the fuck are you talking about?
Kyber crystals. That's what it is. I asked if you were constructing your lighter as if you were Luke Skywalker constructing a lightsaber, and then couldn't remember what they used inside those things.
No, I don't have enough metachlorines to do that kind of shit.
That's true. They're in short.
Found my lighter, and I found another Coronita.
Oh, nice.
This podcast is brought to you by Coronitas.
There's a podcast that I guest on every once in a while called Voice from the Underground. We've talked about it.
Oh, another one you're a guest again.
It's just the same one that I've been talking about before, but the one that talks about politics. But there is a segment in the middle with one of their hosts named Big Haas called The Humidor. And he smokes and reviews a cigar, and, he usually has some kind of alcohol that he's paired with it. And I really feel like you should guest on just that segment, because I really feel like you and him would have a lot to talk about.
I'm down.
All right, I'll set it up.
Set it up.
Do you have an IMDb game for me?
I do. I feel that you've watched this movie. There's not a lot of clues, but I will give you a big hint.
Okay.
If you had seen this movie, it was probably with Colin Dempster.
Okay.
Colin Dempster, as he preferred to be called.
Right. Well, yeah, Dembski, but okay.
No. I don't think maybe he didn't tell you that story. One time he got a piece of mail that addressed him as Colin Dempster. I don't know why, but that's like the funniest thing ever. So we just constantly refer to it.
Colin Dempster. That is hilarious.
I'm even going to give the character names in this. That's how unlikely it is for you to guess what this is. Are you ready?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Under sex and nudity, mild. One of one found this mild, so probably the person who wrote this.
Right.
Elliot's first wife dies, and he develops a relationship with his next-door neighbor.
Oh, interesting.
It's implied that they have slept together.
Elliot's first wife dies, and he starts a thing with his neighbor. Okay. I am going to say The Secret Life of Pets.
No.
Okay.
Under violence and gore, severe. One of two found the severe. For a couple of seconds, one of the characters holds another character. Well, it doesn't list the character's name. It just lists the real person's name.
Okay.
So I can't say that.
That's funny.
But for seconds, one of the characters holds, and I think this is also the other person's real name. The other character's in a strangle.
Okay.
Now, let me give you two more clues here because, like I said, this is kind of an obscure one.
Okay.
The cab drivers displays, that's not correct, wild, erratic behavior that may be disturbing to sensitive individuals. The cab breaks through a bridge, falls several dozen feet into a river.
Huh. The Mothman prophecies?
No. Isn't everything disturbing to sensitive individuals, though? Like, by the very nature of the definition of being sensitive means that, some stuff might disturb you.
Yeah.
Trigger warning.
For sure. Yeah, Cab crashes through a bridge and falls into water. And I probably would have seen it with Colin, which means it's probably a shitty horror movie. Let's see. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Did you forget to push the press for talk button, or did you go get another lighter?
Yes, that's 100%. I have one lighter, though I did have two, so I really am missing a lighter. You've got a good point there.
That's awful.
I think I'm just going to list all the profanity because, again, it's kind of obscure. Plus, it might help you a little bit.
Right.
Use of the shit word during the cab scene, the infamous cab scene.
The shit word.
And it says SH asterisk. So shit. I'm not an IMDb segment. I don't care if I say shit.
Okay.
The next one, just the way it's phrased, like tickles me a little bit. The Lord's name is taken in vain 3 times or more.
You decide.
This next one's kind of related. There's one scene where a person is getting out of a car, and upon exiting, the name of Jesus Christ is taken in a clear and intentional manner. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, how would it be unintentional?
It's taken,
and they're trying to. Is someone trying to say cheese and rice, but they accidentally say Jesus Christ? It's like the reverse of it.
And additionally, the word "crappy" is used.
Wow. Piranha 2.
Directed by James Cameron, but no.
Yeah, that's what I was
there's nothing under alcohol, drugs, and smoking.
Okay. Is Jackie Martling in this movie?
Oh no, that would be awful. Under frightening and intense scenes, every single one of them will tell you what it is. So let me give you the other one.
Okay.
This is back under sex and nudity, and listen carefully. This will give it away.
Okay.
She solicits him in her bedroom, and he says, "I can't." Little kids won't understand this, but teenagers will. She asks, "Why are you falling through the bed, and why are you having trouble with intimacy?"
Oh, Ghost Dad?
Ghost Dad. Yeah, everything under frightening intense scenes starts with the ghost. Actually, that's incorrect. I could have said the cab driver is a wild man, and some of his actions can be disturbing to younger children. He's a wild.
Yeah, he is a wild man. That's awesome. I'm pretty sure. I know I've seen Ghost Dad. I'm almost positive I did see it with Colin or Colin.
See? I saw it. I don't think it was with Colin. But I don't remember any of this stuff. It's a really unmemorable movie, but apparently you get to see Bill Cosby choke someone. So that's if he went to the hard rape as opposed to the soft rapes he's known for. Actually, no, I disagree. I think a soft rape is more when like a masseuse like brushes their hand against your glistening buttocks,
right?
And like I guess that's technically, obviously he's a raper.
Yeah, absolutely, and a hypocrite.
And worst of all, he's not even a ghost, so that's double hypocrisy.
Right. Well, maybe he'll be a ghost soon. Maybe he'll get coronavirus.
Well, let's hope not. I don't wish that upon anyone.
Yeah, I don't either. But he is a horrible person.
He's a good man.
Well, Oscar Pistorius is a great man then.
Yeah.
Real quick before we get into our main topic, plus I have some letters to read too. I guess I'll probably say that for the end. But before we get into, what we're talking about today, we talked last week about how a lot of the movies are pushing back their release dates, like Mulan and the new James Bond film.
Life in the Fast Lane.
Yeah, exactly. Life in the Fast Lane has pushed back.
I was going to do that as a fake IMDb movie review for it, but I don't think the details are all that hashed out. My only clue is a former pope is in this movie.
I love that the entire plot of the movie is spoiled in the trailer, though.
Yes.
But anyway, so there's a group of movies that are now coming to streaming early, and I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for at least like one blockbuster movie to be like, hey, let's pay $20 and you can watch this in your home, because I think this is going to be the future.
Yes, I think this virus, if anything, will make the future come quicker, because people are like, oh, you know what? I can work from home. Why do we have to rent out an office?
Yep, exactly. Why do we have to rent the space? All that stuff. Obviously, some people can't work.
Yeah, there's
from home.
some. Yeah, obviously, like my wife, she can't work from home. She, with her job. I think you said before your wife does some telecommunication type work with her job, or she can work from home like a day or something.
She just works at home all the time.
Oh wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
and I'm sure it has its drawbacks too, like having to see you all fucking day.
Yeah, well, no drawbacks for me, but definitely for her. But anyway, so here's a list of some movies that I honestly don't really care about. Like nothing that I really care about is coming to streaming yet, but I think this is starting to pave the way. So The Invisible Man, that is available for $19.99 for 48 hours. That obviously hit the theaters a little bit before this stuff started, but I heard it was pretty good. A lot better.
It seemed more like a horror movie than like the. I mean, it seems more like, what was that movie with Kevin Bacon where it was like, I can't remember what it was called.
Hollow Man?
Was it? That's it. It sounds more like that, where it's like almost like it's like a yikes, this person's invisible, not like, oh, look at me, I'm in the girls' locker room.
Yeah, I think the plot of it is this woman is dating some kind of billionaire, and she breaks up with him, and then she starts seeing him, and it's like, oh, is he really an invisible man, like torturing her and stalking her and stuff like that, or is it just her? Is she just going nuts? I think that's the plot of the movie.
Huh, that sounds interesting. I'm not going to see it, but it sounds interesting.
Right. Then there's.
I'll read the Wikipedia page.
Yep, that usually tells me all I need to know. The Hunt is next.
I want to see that movie. That is right up my alley. Yeah,
this is the one where liberals are killing conservatives or whatever.
I mean, is there a greater thrill on earth than to hunt another human being?
Not one that I've found. I mean,
how much is this one going to be?
This is also $19.99 for 48 hours.
Oh my god, for 48 hours! How many times can I watch it in a 48-hour period?
It's available on iTunes and Prime Video. Most of these are Prime Video.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. iTunes, I don't fuck with Apple. Fuck them.
Yeah, I agree. I use Prime Video as well. I didn't mention The Rise of Skywalker or Frozen 2 because, whatever.
I'm not a child.
But my kids did watch Frozen 2 and they enjoyed it, so that's good because we have Disney Plus.
Yeah, I have two daughters, as you know, an 11-year-old who really liked the original Frozen when it came out, but she just seems to have no interest in Frozen 2, and I'm happy about that because I hate Disney.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not.
It's the same fucking movie, probably.
Yeah, pretty much. Emma, which I don't. Oh, so I didn't even know they were making another remake of Jane Austen's Emma.
Yeah, I saw a lot of previews for this. I don't know where or why, but I saw it on something I watched, like Hulu or Amazon or something. I saw previews for it.
So that's also coming to iTunes and Prime Video for $20.
Sounds like a British person thing, which I have no interest in. It's like Doctor Who or something.
Yeah. That is available as of today. So you can get that today. Onward is coming to Disney Plus. That's the
Clausen graduate.
Exactly. That's Dan Scanlon's movie. So
a Dan Scanlon joint, as they say.
Exactly. It's apparently, let's see, it says that it's going to be available for purchase on digital platforms. Actually, right now it is. And then April 3rd, it's going to be on Disney Plus. So pretty soon.
Oh, that's not too far.
Yeah, pretty soon if you're interested in it. Birds of Prey is coming out the 24th on Prime Video. Now,
is this is the Harley Quinn thing?
Yeah. I thought that basically
they retitled it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is I thought that basically had its run and then failed. Why are they releasing it?
Maybe they're probably blaming on the coronavirus. Like, oh yeah, it would have done well if it wasn't, Birds of Prey during the coronavirus.
I guess.
But I mean, it just was nowhere near there. I don't think.
No. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it bombed before the coronavirus even started.
You know what bombed even harder than that, as far as I'm aware of? They did another Charlie's Angel movie.
Oh yeah, they did. That's right.
And what's her name? The one
Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah, I think she was behind it.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't think I heard anything about that movie.
I love how you said that. Like it was a crime. I think she was behind it.
Well, I mean, I think she wrote it and
directed it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, that's essentially the same thing.
And she played one of 17 Bosleys or something like that.
Oh, was she in it as well?
Yeah, it was. I don't know exactly. There was several people cast as Bosley. I didn't see it, so I have no idea what that's about. But
that's the dumbest fucking concept ever. I mean, that works in the original and nowhere else. No one cares about that shit. Like, it's Magnum PI is like basically like a one dude versus Charlie's Angels. It's like, oh look, it's him the whole time.
Yeah, it's
like, who fucking cares?
Speaking
this is just some weirdo millionaire guy just fucking toying with you.
Speaking of who fucking cares, Bloodshot is also coming to.
Oh, I thought they changed that movie to Who Fucking Cares.
Well, that's coming the 24th as well to Prime Video.
Poor Vin Diesel, he made the mistake of putting The Rock in the Fast and the Furious movies, and like, who wants to see Vin Diesel when The Rock's available?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're a big tough dude, but look, The Rock over there is much larger, and he has more hair.
Yep, and people like him better because he generally has a better personality.
Yeah.
And I can understand what he's saying.
I did like Vin Diesel in both Saving Private Ryan and also Boilermaker.
Yeah. It's all about family.
I think he did the voice in the Iron Giant for the Iron Giant, which I've heard a lot of good things about, but I didn't see it, and I don't think I will because I'm not a child.
I kind of, now, this is one of those guilty pleasure things. The movie is terrible. But,
is it really?
Yes, but I kind of...
Does it go south when the Iron Giant says he lives his life a quarter mile?
No, not the Iron Giant. I haven't seen that movie. This movie that I'm about to say is a guilty pleasure because the movie is terrible, but it's a Vin Diesel movie. Triple X3.
Oh, they did another trip? That's weird because they went to Ice Cube for the second one.
Yeah, and it's... So, spoilers for Triple X3. There's a point in the movie where Triple X1 obviously is terrible, and I saw it in the theater for God knows what reason. This is back when I used to.
Are you a secret Triple X / Vin Diesel fan?
Well, this is back when I used to go to the theater, I guess.
Didn't you once say that you could see why women found Sean Connery handsome?
No. But so I saw Triple X1 in the theater, and I didn't like it.
Were you the only person with a box of tissues in the theater?
No, fuck. Oh, Fred Willard was right behind me.
It was like being in the front row at a Gallagher show.
Yeah. So I saw that one, and then I caught Triple X2 on cable or something like that, and I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. Ice Cube brings like kind of a fun energy to this. And so because I saw the first two, I figured I might as well be a completist. And I saw Triple X3.
It's a trilogy.
And I was like, oh my, this movie is so fucking terrible, but it's so unintentionally funny and fascinating. And there's a point in the movie where it looks like they're all gonna die, and Triple X2 comes and saves Triple X.
Oh wow!
Yeah, Ice Cube is secretly cameos in the movie.
I bet they could put that on the poster for people so wouldn't see it.
Oh my god! But yeah, and then let's see. Is there anything else? Trolls World Tour is coming out April 10th.
Well, my kids were really into the Trolls, like when it came out, but they don't give a shit about the Trolls now.
Right. And then let's see. Oh, that doesn't sound good. I don't want to offend our Christian listener. But
You mean Haziah?
March 27th. The title of the film is I Still Believe. The first line, and that's why I go, oh, that doesn't sound good. The faith-based biopic about Christian music star.
Well, I thought you were going to say the first line was starring Kirk Cameron. Is he involved with this in any way? I bet he is.
I don't know. I'm going to look it up, but it's a faith-based biopic about Christian music star Jeremy Camp called I Still Believe. And that's the last one. But yeah, so there's nothing I'm really looking forward to that's coming to streaming.
I want to see The Hunt. I love those movies where you hunt people for pleasure.
That is true. That's one of your favorite genres of film.
Yes, I love murder games.
We did do that once.
On the downside, I am working very slowly on a future role-playing game supplement about murder games.
Oh, that's cool. You mentioned one time you mentioned to me, I think, privately, that you wrote a role-playing game, and
it's just a very small supplement, like 3 or 4 pages. But yeah, me and a friend of mine, we published it for Savage Worlds. It was called Raid on Area 51.
Uh-huh.
We sold 99 copies, and 101 copy we get a medal called a silver medal for sales. We've just been hovering at like 99 forever.
Well, I think that you're gonna get there, because when I told that to Carol, the first thing she said was, "We have to buy it." She goes, "We have to buy it," because she's super into role playing games. She's like, "Why didn't you ever tell me Mike wrote a role playing game?" I said, "I didn't know."
It's like a one-off adventure. You just need the basic Savage Worlds, which is like I think a $10 PDF. Very much worth it. I love the system. If she's really into RPGs. It's their motto is fast, fun, furious. It's a really fast system. I like it a lot.
Oh, that's cool. So this I Still Believe movie. Apparently, Kirk Cameron doesn't have anything to do with it, but guess who does? Gary Sinise.
Who? Oh, Gary Sinise. I didn't know he was religious. Maybe he's just opportunistic.
He's super conservative. I've heard that, although he's not one of those, and this is what I appreciate this about him. He's not one of those people that's like, let me go everywhere and be on everything and tell everyone exactly what I think about politics. But I've heard,
I hate that.
I've heard it's like small things here and there that indicate that he's like pretty arch conservative, but he's not in your face about it. So I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm more than fine with it. And he seems like a pretty intelligent guy. He's smart enough to know that no one really cares when an actor thinks about anything except for dumb people.
Yeah, exactly.
You know who else is apparently like almost like comically conservative from Chicago? I think you can guess. From
Chicago.
Yeah, because Gary Sinise is, famously from like the Steppenwolf acting theater, which I think he founded, maybe, and then they're out of Chicago.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who else out of Chicago would be arch conservative. That's a celebrity.
Like they say, it's like comically so.
Adam Carolla is not from.
No. Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, tell me.
John Malkovich.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they say like when I think some murderer was executed, he like threw a party with a barbecue and that kind of stuff, and they just say he's very over, it's almost like a parody of a conservative. That's how conservative he is.
Well, I'll tell you what, good for him, because and this is why good for him. Not that I necessarily agree with his politics, but good for him because I had no fucking clue.
Yeah, exactly. Again, he seems like a very smart person, so he knows to detach himself, from that.
Yeah, so I applaud you, John Malkovich, for keeping your your private life private and your public life public. Good for you.
Yeah, good for him.
But anyway, so I guess we'll swing into the main. I think there's two things probably that we'll want to talk about. One is
this might be
film.
a 3-hour podcast.
Yeah, one's a movie and one's Better Call
film.
Saul. But do you want to go through Better Call Saul real quick before we get into the movie?
Yeah, I think that'd be the better way to do this.
Right. Pretty interesting episode.
Yeah, good episode.
Yep.
We start off from last week. We realized that the guy who you say is from Northern Exposure,
yes,
he's hired Saul, and then of course Kim?
Yeah.
Not Clem.
Kim's Alabama cousin, Clem.
Roll Tide! What's funny is whenever on Reddit anybody makes a comment about incest, and then someone almost immediately follows up with Roll Tide. Which makes me laugh so hard.
Oh my god! What? And there's got to be a joke in there about your cousin being on her period. There's got to be a Roll Tide.
Oh Lord!
There's got to be a Roll Tide joke there somewhere.
It's a relief because you don't have another mutant baby.
Yeah, I've got all the pieces are out there. People put it together.
That's like a make your own joke. We gave you the parts. You put them in whatever order you find funniest.
Exactly. You can tweet it at us. Your best incest Roll Tide joke.
But anyways, Kim, she reveals, they hired Jimmy, so I guess I can't do this shit anymore. I have to be off this. And
you were totally right too. By the way,
yeah, for sure. And honestly, the show's kind of incorrect here because he would almost immediately switch attorneys because that's you could definitely appeal that down the line or say it's a conflict of interest.
Yeah,
it's not a good situation for either party.
That's the thing is that. I know why they do it. They do it to show exactly how stubborn Kevin can be. But like you said, it's a liability. It doesn't matter. It's
it's not malpractice technically, but you might as well. You could claim down the line that's just a bad situation because you could say if he loses, you could say, "Oh, Kim wasn't going as hard as he should have," and he's going to try. It'll just tie the whole thing up in litigation forever, and you won't get your call center built. Yeah,
exactly. And that's the thing is he says to Kim, he's like, "Oh, do you feel comfortable or whatever?" And she's like, "Yeah, I feel." It doesn't matter if she's comfortable. What matters is how it's going to look in court.
Yeah, I'm predicting right now this is what's going to cause either a rift between them, and that's why we won't see her in the future, or it'll decimate her Mesa Verde contact because I think we know that Jimmy or Saul, whatever you want to call him, is going to want to win it all.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, another fun. I'm sorry, I tend to dominate these sometimes. Go ahead and. Well, the next thing that I like is we see Mike's story. He wakes up in Mexico, and we see a character from the Breaking Bad, the doctor who helped Gustavo Fring and his associates after he deliberately poisoned himself while they were killing all the other cartel members at the head of the cartel's palatial mansion.
Yep, I was really happy. To see him again.
Yeah, I like him. I don't know why that guy's just charismatic. He's fun to see on screen.
Yep, absolutely. It looks like he maybe gained a little weight from.
Yeah, that seems like most of the people did who were on Breaking Bad. But I guess good for him. He lost weight and he's thinner later and younger looking.
Yep, exactly, exactly.
Like how in El Camino, we just realized that Todd was just really carb loading that for a brief period while Jesse was enslaved.
Yeah, exactly. He was trying to bulk up, and then he went on an extreme cut.
Right, he was accumulating mass.
That's for all you weightlifting meatheads out there, of which I'm kind of one, but not. I don't take supplements or anything. So can I really truly be a true meathead? I guess not.
I think if you just take creatine, that's pretty good because that's actually a pretty natural substance that does add water to your muscles and it helps you get gains faster.
Oh, okay, well, that's interesting. I'll check it out.
I don't know what the dosage is, but yeah, I think it's pretty low and relatively inexpensive.
Every time I go to the gym, some guy just injects something in my ass. So he says it's good for me. So
hopefully it's a needle. Because I can think of two reasons you'd be in the bathroom with Andy Dick.
Well, he did say.
Oh my God! I hope he's taking steroids.
He did say that it was that the video of him doing it was going to be on something called meatspin.com. So I don't know, but
feel that you don't want to be able to be on meatspin.com. Or Two Guys, One Fish, or whatever it was.
Right, yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, so Mike wakes up in Mexico, and he tries to get a hold of Fring. He can't call outside. There's a lady there who's kind of taking care of him. She's, she's giving him, like nice meals, a little bit of conversation. The doctor, he goes, you can leave now, but you're not going to survive it. The wound is such that I guess he was stabbed or something. I don't remember exactly what happened. Was he shot? I don't recall.
He provoked another fight or whatever with those.
Yeah, but this time
people.
As you correctly pointed out, they used actual tactics this time and all jumped them at once.
Yeah, but they did stab him. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he says, yeah, you're free to leave whenever you want. He goes, oh, are there armed guards? He's like, yeah, but they'll let you go by. He gives them directions on the other side. He goes, you won't survive it though. Wait here a week. I'll give you the medicine. Fring will go talk to you then. And then Mike. Mike is. We always knew he was handy with tools, but he's almost beyond that. He's almost at a trades level. He seems to be able to figure out how to wire the phone to bypass the local network that they're on and then just get a hold of Fring directly. And so it's actually a pretty hilarious sequence, I thought.
Yeah, and it reminded me a lot of Walter White. I think
when he's assembling the bomb, especially.
Yeah, I think this is kind of his, or this. It's going to be this show's sort of. That kind of, science porn or whatever you want to call it. Mike's going to take that role probably.
What I like about it is it informs a character, much like Kim sweeping up the glass in the last episode. It shows that Mike is a guy who's willing to do the dirty work. He's very patient. He's methodical. He's plotting as much as Gustavo Fring is, or Walter White. But Walter White's more of a wild card, I would say.
Yeah,
he's handy. He's a man who he takes care of his own problems.
Yep.
So he somehow wires up this phone, and he just nothing, and then he calls Fring, and then Fring's like, I can't talk right now. And he just hangs up.
I'm making some guy fucking scrub the grill.
Yeah, no shit.
I'll talk to you later. But yeah.
Yeah, so again, this whole Mike part's again another, he's waiting, and finally, I think Fring remembers to arranges to greet him, I believe. Or meet, not greet.
Meet and greet.
All right, next week I'll say hello to you.
Yeah, we find out that this whole compound, or whatever you want to call it, this little village, is dedicated to Max, Gus's former lover. We see now Mike doesn't really see it, but they kind of give us a hint of it, and that's the name of the episode. That there's this monument of water dedicated to Max, and basically
just kind of fucked up when you realize he was killed next to a pool,
right?
After being slightly drowned.
Yeah, but he, obviously Gus. I don't know. I speculated to Carol, my wife, that maybe it was family members of Max or something that he brought over. Some of these people were. Or...
Yeah, that could be. I didn't really think about that too hard, but what I do realize just by its very existence, it's both a fuck you to the cartel, and it's a little secret that Gus has. This guy that the cartel just murdered, willingly, for shits and giggles almost. And they didn't kill Gus because he has some connections. They just he's like, fuck you. I'm making something good in his name, unlike all this shit, Because a lot of it's a very violent business, but Gus tries to be as unviolent as possible. He's not timid. I mean, he killed a man with his bare hands, in one of the earlier seasons, but he doesn't revel in violence. The Salamancas, they love it. They love being, having machismo, their bravado. They love just lording their power over other people. Even in Breaking Bad, when Hector, is that the guy in the wheelchair?
Yes.
When he almost drowns the two brothers, I mean, that's just, he just enjoys the power of it. They're power hungry, whereas Gus is very, he puts all his energies internally, and he just plots and plots. And again, I still maintain he's the actual protagonist of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's interesting. Just kind of to skip forward a little bit, I guess. He has a conversation with Mike. Eventually he does come. They have a conversation by that memorial. And he says, Mike is basically I don't know why you want me, why you care so much about me. And Gus says, because I think that you understand revenge, and I need a soldier that understands revenge. I don't know if he's done research and looked.
Yeah, I could only assume he's performed extensive research and investigation, so he knows Mike have some sort of connection, or at least understand the concept.
Yeah.
Why that would make Mike want to work for him, I don't really know, because that's
Right.
not his to settle. I feel it's a little bit of a weak kind of connection, but yeah, that is ultimately. I mean, I guess he persuades him. Obviously, he persuades him to work for him.
Yeah.
If you see him Breaking Bad, but yeah, that's I felt that was a little weak in my opinion, because I don't know them to care so much about someone else's revenge.
Right. No, I agree, and I think Mike kind of got his revenge out of his system, and I mean, not only got it out of his system, but also realized that it didn't bring him the kind of peace that he wanted.
Sure. What I think is going to happen here is Mike is kind of, he realizes he has a limited set of skills. He doesn't like, sitting idle. I mean, he loves, playing with his granddaughter and that sort of thing. He's going to have to repair that relationship still. But
right.
I think eventually Mike's just going to realize, like I said before, if we're going to be in the drug business, this is the best way to be in it. It's the most honorable path, the way that Gustavo Fring, takes, with some exceptions, obviously.
Yeah, and that's the pitch that Gus brings to him, basically, because he's, Mike's like, oh, you're so different than them. He's like, yeah, I am different than them. You've seen them. You know what they did. The whole reason you wanted to kill them is because they killed a truck driver over the thing that you were fucking with them about. And that's, why you wanted to kill him. That's why we met originally. He doesn't say that, but I mean, that's
actually, now that I think about this, I imagine you made a good point. I think Mike probably does want some sort of revenge against the Salamancas. He realizes they're just like animals for the most part. I mean, every member of the family is like some wild, crazy person who would kill you just as easily as they'd look at you.
Yep. But yeah, so that's pretty much Mike's story. That's kind of where we leave it, with them talking to each other, and we're not sure exactly what Mike's going to do, but it's implied that like I said, I said to Carol, I was like, they fade out when Gus is like, I'm not like them, and he's talking about revenge and everything, and I'm like, yeah, this is the smart thing to do, because you don't want Gus to like put a arm over Mike's shoulder and be like, let me tell you about my boyfriend Max and how he was killed. Like right. we know this stuff. Do it off screen, and then Mike will have the information.
Sure. Yeah, I can't imagine Gus would be as emotional as that. He would just probably talk about how loathsome the Salamancas are, which Mike already knows.
Yeah. So then go ahead.
No, I think you're going the same place I am.
I was just gonna say, switching to Jimmy. Yep. It's like it's almost like a montage. It's a cavalcade.
I loved this whole sequence. It's just like a purified, like 5-10 minute sequence of like Jimmy like at his best hygiene way.
Yeah, absolutely. Just absolutely fucking with everybody. So I'm trying to remember what the first thing he does is he says the sheriff.
He switches the address.
Yeah, the sheriff comes out and he's like, "Oh, okay, 11:30. But is that where we are? How can you prove that it's 11:30?" And
because he decides in the house and the mailbox.
And he's got.
Oh, no, they took them off. That's what it was.
Yeah, and the guy that lives there from Northern Exposure, he brings the mail from the mailbox over, and it says 12:40 on it.
Yeah, which is great, because you can't. He's not technically doing anything illegal, I don't think, here, because he says, hey, I don't see an address. The mail says this. He doesn't say that this is this address. He goes, I think you need to look into it, because he knows every single day takes longer. They're costing tons of money to Mesa Verde. They have a whole construction crew out there that each time Jimmy pulls some hijink, they have to confront them about it.
Yep. Yeah, so that's the first delay. The second thing they do is, I'm trying to remember what the second thing they do is now.
I'm not sure the order. I know at one point they take, is it a smoke detector? It's something that has a little bit of radiation in it, and they very dangerously grind this up and sprinkle it in the rocks outside the house. Yeah,
when I saw him doing it, when I saw him taking out the little circuit parts from I said to my wife, I was like, oh, radon, because there's a very, very, very trace amount of radon.
Which is exactly what they pick up. They ultimately say, well, it's okay, but I mean, they have to qualify it and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's just another thing where they have to. Oh, I think the second thing he does is break all the plates and plant them under the ground and call call like the whatever conservative
anthropologist.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, we don't. They look contemporary, but we're not sure. We're gonna have to look through this whole area.
On the other side, too, you have to think, since Kevin refuses to let anybody but Kim handle this, she's raking in the fees, too. I mean, I'm sure she bills at a high hourly rate and just having to deal with this shit. And ultimately, everyone is pretty much convinced, or like, we have another site. Let's just do this. Even like his consultant, like, the guy he trusts in the firm, or like his old friend, he's like, this doesn't make sense. Let's just move the site. And Kevin says no, because Kevin wants to win. That's more important to him at this point.
Yeah, Kevin reminds me in a way, if we're gonna equate this to Breaking Bad a little bit, Kevin in a way reminds me a little bit of Walter White.
Oh yeah, for sure. Walter had many opportunities to do the smart thing, but instead he wanted to do the Walter thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And Kevin's a successful businessman. Him and with Kim's help, he's just like throwing up banks all over the southwestern region. So he's a wealthy, powerful man, and he's used to getting his way.
Yep. And that's basically what it's about. And I think that's one of the things that pisses Kim off so much. So eventually, go ahead.
No. Yeah, eventually they say, you know what? Jimmy's like, well, we could get more personal. I don't think you want to do that. We could really get to Kevin if you want to.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go too. Like eventually, they run out of things they can do because Kevin said, no, we're going to keep fighting this. And, Saul says to her, yeah, he's like, we're done, basically. You gave this guy more time than he really deserved, and there's nothing that we can do now except for one thing. And then he walks away. Like, Kim's not going to be like, what's that one thing?
See, I'm actually a little ambiguous on this one. I don't know if Saul actually wants... He wants Kim to make the decision. He doesn't necessarily want to do this because he knows it affects Kim greatly. That's her, biggest employer. Mm-hmm. The guy at her firm... Actually, that's the guy at her firm that suggests they move the site. I think he's like a partner. He's like, we're going to reassign you. You clearly are not in on this Mesa Verde thing anymore. You don't want to do it. And Kim, like, chases him down the hallway and, like, almost... She doesn't shout because, it's Kim. But she, like, no, you can't take me off this. This is my job. I'm here because of Mesa Verde. I've brought in Mesa Verde. I'm in charge of their account. It's a very prestigious account. She's on the short path to partnership because of this. But he's like, I don't want you to do this. And then he realizes, he's like, yeah, we gotta do this. And Kevin is still, no, he doesn't want to do it.
Yep. Yeah,
and
exactly.
Speaking of powerful men, we have one more in the mix. The guy from H&M, I forget his name, Howard, I think?
Yes, Howard.
Yeah, his in spite of his destroyed vehicle, he's he doesn't connect Jimmy to it. He might kind of ask him a little bit, but Jimmy doesn't know what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, I still watch. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to think about this a little more. It's a big decision, so he's just like kind of like dragging that out.
And he just hangs up on a mid-sentence.
Yeah,
but yeah, so the guy, I recognized the guy, and I realized later where I recognized him from. But he was on The Walking Dead, the guy that they call because. Saul calls Mike first, obviously.
Yeah, you're right.
Because he wants, he's looking for a PI. Mike says no. Basically, he can't do it.
And I don't know if you recognize, I didn't, but I did do a little reading to see what I missed because there's a lot that I missed. But he was actually in the earlier season where there was a guy, I can't remember, the guy who was like had the comic book collection and that kind of stuff where he was doing the shady deals.
Okay, yeah.
That guy showed up with Mike, and there was another guy too. And the guy's like, he's like, oh, do you got a gun? And Mike's like, why would I have a gun? I don't need a gun.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Then and then he just disarms the guy. He just like scares the other guy away. So,
that's right.
So he's like kind of he's like a sleazy kind of one of these sleazy underground characters we love so much in Breaking Bad. Yeah. I still hope we see Bill Burr's character as Cuddy again.
That's who I thought it was going to be.
I thought so. Yeah, I was 100% thinking it was going to be Cuddy. But, I mean, Cuddy's not a PI. He's more of a con man.
Right.
So.
But I was like, because he goes, same place I got Huel. And I was saying, yep. I said to Carol, I was like, oh, please be Bill Burr. Please be Bill Burr.
Yeah, I'm hoping he shows up, but it doesn't really make sense for this. But, yeah, and then that was another fun part where he's asking. Sal kind of thinks he did a shitty job because he knows Mike would have dug up more dirt on him. What do you mean? He's like, I went through his house, and he has all these pictures, and Kim's like horrified, like, oh my God, you went to his house? That's clearly illegal. That's breaking everything I believe in. But Sal's like, don't mention the B&E or whatever. But he convinces them, and something he has in the photos, Kim sees as a great way to get at Kevin. Yep,
and we don't know exactly what it is, but there's something there. So I don't know.
I read a theory on it. I don't know if you want to hear it.
Sure, yeah, let's hear.
All right, when she kind of smiles, she's looking at a picture of Kevin on a picture that Kevin has of like a guy on a horse. Uh-huh. And apparently that's the Mesa Verde logo. So some people are speculating that what happens is she realizes a copyright infringement that he used this logo without clearing it. So, Sal's going to try and introduce like a new lawsuit, like a counter defendant, something like that, just to fuck with them.
Interesting. That's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, but I like another strong episode. The sequence of the cons that Jimmy was throwing at them were hilarious. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually happier about the ending now that I talked to you because that does make sense because Mike doesn't like the Salamakas any more than Gus does. Probably doesn't hate them as much, but he's no fan.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But speaking of no fans, does Kevin Smith have any fans left?
See, that's a good question because this movie is the biggest fan service movie I've seen in my entire.
Oh yeah, I mean it might as well just be called fan service the movie. So in case you haven't figured out, Mike and I, which it's available on Amazon Prime, Mike and I saw Jay and Silent Bob Reboot.
Yeah, if you're a huge can't miss it fan of Kevin Smith and have Amazon, I'd say watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I would not pay $1 for this movie. I wanted to go see it when it was at the local Fox Theater. I think they screened it at. I'm so glad I didn't go. It's a ridiculous movie. It
is pretty much a remake, like kind of like it's like a beat for beat remake of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Almost exactly.
But I mean, obviously they change a little bit. It's very meta in a lot of ways. I mean, at the very beginning, they tell you exactly what they're going to do, which it doesn't really excuse it. I mean,
no, it doesn't excuse it. I mean, it makes you. It's like, oh, they're self-aware. Yeah, they're self-aware, but that doesn't make it a good movie. It's
almost worse.
The entire movie, it is worse, I think,
because it's like they should know better then.
I mean, there's not an original idea or thought in this movie. Again, I mean, there's a lot of like funny moments just because you would only know them from the context of other Kevin Smith movies. Like there's a like in Dogma, they kind of like, oh, this is a bad idea. They like look at the screen like, ah. I mean, they do that in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back as well.
What the dumbest part, I think, and I have no idea why they did this. And this is saying a lot. And maybe it's not the dumbest part, but it's the most bewildering part. At some point in the movie, all of a sudden they're just in a church and Matt Damon turns around and he's like, "Hey, remember me? I'm Loki from Dogma. Alanis Morissette is God, you know." And he's like,
they say he looks like Alanis Morissette, yeah.
Right, and he's just like, "Oh, you want to know what happened to me after the movie was over? Let me give you like no one's thought of this. Let me
really though.
Let me give you what happened to me after the movie was over." And now all of a sudden I'm going to be a narrator for 4 seconds of screen time over one scene of Jay and Silent Bob, and then gone for the rest of the movie. What the fuck?
I honestly think he was just trying to put a character from every movie he's ever done, including Zack and Miri Make a Porno, which isn't part of the View Askew-verse.
Right.
Justin essentially is the same character. You can tell by the voice he puts on.
Yep.
I don't know if he has the same name, but he's an attorney now, which I think he was like a porn actor at one point. So good for him to have a diverse career, I guess. And at the beginning, the cameos are ridiculous in the sense that they do nothing to. It's like, oh hey, look, that's so and so. That's all they do. I mean, Joe Mantiglione or something like that.
Yeah,
he's
whatever his name is.
In this court sequence. Craig Robinson's the judge. There's no reason for them to be in there. I mean, good for Kevin Smith for having a lot of friends, I guess.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't. Yeah, none of it makes sense. It's cameo and fan service. The movie.
This scene, by the way, is in an empty courtroom, so they couldn't afford to hire extras or didn't have the inclination to do so.
Right. Exactly.
And then Justin Long's character, like, oh, sign this, I'll get you out of this, like, you know, because they open they take the video store, which obviously is no longer there, and it's replaced by a red box because, you know, commentary on the movies.
Right.
But it's called Choke Your Chicken or something ridiculous.
Cocksmoker.
Like yeah, cocksmoker, which, you know, is a word they've used, in the past, and I guess it's funny. I don't know how.
Yeah.
But it's an underground, like, you know, pot shop. They're growing weed and selling it out front, which I don't know if it's legal in Jersey to have, like, weed shops. You'd think they just open that.
Well, later in the movie, I guess, okay, so he pulled out a card, and I assumed it was going to be a medical marijuana card, but it was just a union card, like drug dealers have a union.
Yeah, well, no, that's a joke from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Right, yeah.
Because they leave, and then they run into the same characters who actually, I think, do own, like, a medical pot thing in California later, and they use the exact same song, the same jokes.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
It's like a cameo. It's a cameo nobody asked for. I mean, these were, like, you know, maybe they're Kevin Smith's friends. I don't know. Well, actually, one of them was Tracy Morgan, but Tracy Morgan declined to appear in this because he's a billionaire.
Right. But yeah, like those two little kids at the beginning of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where they start talking about Jungle Love. Why do they need a cameo? Who cares?
It wasn't a great reference at the time.
No. And it wasn't a funny joke in this movie either.
I mean, all it is callbacks to stuff that, isn't funny being called back to.
So, I mean, I guess if you want to know the quote plot of this movie.
Yeah, that'd probably be important. And then we could just, we could yoga hosers it afterwards.
Yeah. It's basically the same movie as Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. They find out after they get arrested or whatever for selling marijuana out of sight of this chicken restaurant. Is that a Breaking Bad reference?
I doubt it. But there was a nice cameo by Donnell Rawlings, who I'm happy to see anytime. He's just, yes. I just find him very funny.
Yeah, I like him too. But they get arrested or whatever. They post bail. I don't know. And they find out from
no. That's not what happens. Justin Long gets him out because he has him sign something, and he represents Hollywood.
Yeah,
and then he immediately goes, I'm taking your names officially," which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
How can you patent the name Jay?
Yeah, and the way that he gets him out is like so weak. I don't even understand like what legal argument he's making other than he's from Hollywood. And like, okay, the charges are dropped.
Right. But yeah, that's right. So he frees them by having them sign over their names so that they can make the movie. But that also doesn't make any sense because if they own the intellectual property of the movie, then they can just use the names anyway.
Yeah, because they already bought. They're not buying their likenesses. They're taking the characters Bluntman and Chronic, which are a Holden McNeil property. So why they're involved in any way or would have to sign anything when they didn't in the first place makes no sense.
Yeah, and then that's the other thing too is they're like, "Oh, you can't use your names." Which is a joke that is first of all, it's terrible, but it's also so half-heartedly used. I think it might come up twice, and then
a couple times,
and then that's it. And it doesn't prevent them from doing anything. It's not. There's no problems with it.
All it does is it just makes it more difficult for them to travel. I mean, that's all it does. That's the only purpose. I was like, it's a road trip. I mean, because they do at least acknowledge that logically they should just be able to fly there.
Yeah. But they're on the no-fly list for some reason.
Yeah, which, again, doesn't make sense. I guess maybe the drug... No, that doesn't make sense. But Molly Shannon makes a cameo, which I don't know why Molly Shannon hasn't been in more stuff. I've always thought she was funny. She's good in both dramatic and comedic roles. But she apparently comes out of retirement, maybe? Maybe she's in movies to do a cameo as a TSA agent. Or no, it's the person who books the tickets. I think.
Yeah.
Because, they don't know about the internet, which is interesting because this part, I'm sorry, I know you're going through the plot, but I can't delay this anymore.
Okay.
I read comments that somebody had sent a tweet to Kevin Smith, which was very petty, about like when Silent Bob's like texting on his phone, how it's so loud. When I saw the comment, I laughed because I'm like, who would make such a ridiculous comment? But oh my god, that is the most accurate comment I've ever seen in my entire life about a fucking. Silent Bob is like a woodpecker, and he spends like literally 30 seconds typing out an emoji. Yeah, and it's not
a funny joke ever to me. Maybe
I don't know that it's meant to be a funny joke. I think Kevin Smith just thought that's how a phone sounds.
I guess, but I mean, like, it's so many buttons pressed for one emoji, and it's like, okay, that might be funny once, but not the 17 times it's done throughout the movie.
Not saying how he's finally adapted to communicating entirely through a cell phone, but seeing how it's Kevin Smith and he can't shut the fuck up. He also makes another character in there who is
Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith.
He pulled the Stephen King in The Dark Tower and made himself a character.
Yes, he did, and it makes no sense because apparently the characters of Silent Bob and Jay are supposed to be real, and you can tell it's a fantasy because they're so popular that there's a con called Chronic Con, which has the exact same logo as Comic Con, and people just love this thing. They come from everywhere to attend it. It's like Comic Con, but for Kevin Smith fandom, maybe. I'm not really sure exactly what Chronic Con is, to be honest.
I think it's for the fictional characters of Bluntman and Chronic, but I want to know because they never actually mention. They do mention Clerks once, but they don't mention any other films. So what I want to know is, in this universe, how did Kevin Smith become famous, and what movies did he make? If there was no Jay and Silent Bob in Clerks, then...
Actually, I think you're misspeaking, because if you remember when they're at the Comic-Con, they visit the panels from various Kevin Smith movies.
Well, I remember the Clerks one. Do they do other ones too?
Black and white. They see Comic Men, which is another thing that's kind of related, because they're his friends.
Right.
I thought they did another movie too. I can't remember which one, but yeah, they definitely reference the real life movies of Kevin Smith in this, which these are characters in, which is like the convoluted, when they say we have to go back and stop this movie from being made. That's a parody based upon characters based on us. Right. They do like an extended version of that in reference to that.
Yeah, exactly. It's, oh my God, it's so bad. But so they're going to they pick up Fred Armisen.
Yeah, you have to remember, when they're in jail, he sees the news, and who's the local news person? Oh, look, it's Just.
Yeah, it's Gil Hicks, right?
Yeah, which was funny because he played Dante and Gil Hicks, which I thought was kind of funny. And there was one joke that I thought was really good with when he was talking to Banky, who moved his place to the. This actually is before that. He moved his place to the mall.
Yeah.
Which and then he goes, oh, look, which doesn't make sense, because Banky should be like a multi-millionaire. Why does he care so much about this? Because remember, he hosted the Tonight Show and then just stopped.
Right. Plus, he sold his rights to Blunt Man and Chronic.
Right. I mean, mind you, that's thing. Was that after Johnny Carson or after Jay Leno? I'm not sure where it would line up. It's definitely pre Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah. So and then when he's in the mall, he goes, "Look, there's a mall rat, but it's a literal rat, because the mall, again, another joke on modern, consumerism. The malls are vacant."
Yep. Exactly.
The joke that he makes, he goes, "Oh, they're not even going to make a sequel or even a squeakquel," which I thought was pretty funny.
Yes.
I think that's the only genuine laugh I had in the whole movie.
That was funny. But what wasn't funny is that there was at least 3 scenes that I remember of people looking directly at the camera.
Yes.
It was kind of funny once in
Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, but oh my God, so many times.
I mean, in a lot of ways, again, we need to continue the plot. So yeah, they use because they don't want to say Uber for some reason. I can't remember what the wacky name they use instead, but it's certainly
Ride
wacky.
Me, I think, or something like
that. Yeah, because a sexual reference, because I'm 14. So.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, so Fred Armisen is driving them to Justice's house. When he gets there, she passes out, and then some mysterious figure beats both her asses, and they wake up on the couch.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It reminded me of Dogma a little bit, because she had the hockey mask on. Yeah,
for sure. And of course, Justice is like, "Oh, I can't believe you guys showed up here." And then it turns out the person that beat them up is Justice's daughter with Jay, who was played by, here's a shocker, Harley Quinn.
Yeah, Harley Quinn Smith. By the way, so if we're doing the compliment sandwich or whatever.
Oh boy.
I guess
we need a compliment first.
Yeah, let me give the one compliment. Can Harley Quinn Smith be in a good movie, please? Because she's actually a pretty good actress.
See, I have a question, and I don't recall from the 5 minutes I was able to bear of Yoga Hosers. The way she's talking, she's doing a voice, right? Or is that her normal voice?
No, she's doing a voice.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because I didn't think she talks like this, because that's what her character does. And I'm like, I hope for her sake that's just an affect. I mean, yeah, I thought she was good in this, and I thought Jay is a pretty good actor, I think.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him in more things.
Agreed.
Kevin Smith is not a really good actor. I mean, he could deliver dialogue. He could play himself. He could play a silent character that, has a fucking sledgehammer he hits his phone with every time he sends a smiley emoji.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so we see Justice, and then Harley Quinn has a friend who's... silent
deaf.
Figure, believe it or not, she doesn't speak either. Ha ha ha.
Right. Yeah, she's deaf. And we find out that that Justice is a lesbian because, or bisexual, I guess, because that's hilarious.
Well, I think that also gives us the opportunity to... Is this the same character from Clerks 2 that Rosario Dawson plays?
I don't know. I guess.
I don't remember the character, to be honest with you, that well.
Yeah. I don't know. I know she was okay with going ass to mouth. I know that.
Yeah, I find Rosario Dawson very attractive.
Yeah, she is a pretty woman for sure.
Mercy.
But so
So they drive away, leaving Harley Quinn there for who knows how long. I don't really understand why they are going somewhere if they're married.
They're going.
They're going on a trip.
Yeah, they're going on some trip or something like that. But
they're going to the Who Gives a Fuck convention.
Exactly. But Harley Quinn wants to go to Chronicon because just so happens she wants to go to the exact same place that her dad, that she doesn't know, wants to go because she wants to take her friend there.
I forgot we're missing something too. Fred Armisen, they go to a movie's Golden Cow, and Jay and Silent Bob apparently had enough weed to make 3 giant joints, and it's like some crazy magical strain that they made. Apparently,
it's the best. It's the best weed you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, because Kevin Smith has to have everything about weed now.
Right.
So he was, he's there at the movies, and Fred Armisen, they give him a, one of these 3 special joints. They just give it to a guy who drives them because he agrees to take them all the way to California. Mm-hmm. He starts lighting it up while they're in the restaurant, and the police come, they arrest them, all that stuff. So that's why they have to go to Harley Quinn's house.
Yeah.
And then so they agree that they'll go with them for some reason, which doesn't make a lot of sense because they're just 2 strange men that they just met.
Yeah, they want to go with them. They're friends
to California.
They're friends of her mom's, I guess, as she introduces them.
That she beat up 12 hours ago, if that long even.
So they decide that they're going to all go together.
And Justice says, when you get back from the trip, we'll have a talk, and maybe we'll tell Harley that you're her dad then, but don't tell her that now, which, of course, leads to a lot of plot for this movie.
Yeah, I guess. But so they get into wacky adventures, basically. At one point, the girls somehow get kidnapped by white supremacists. I don't understand how or why this happened.
I think it's because her friend is African-American, probably.
I guess, but they just saw him driving down the street, and they were like, get him.
Yeah, I don't think they're that aggressive anymore.
Yeah, so they knock him out with a bunch of weed. Kevin Smith does the Glenn Ross scene from
note for note.
Yeah, for Alec Baldwin's scene. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's not even a reference to his own movie. He's just fucking thinking of movies at this point.
Is that supposed to be funny? I don't get it.
Do you think it's meant to be as a reference, or do you think it's supposed to be he doesn't think his younger audience will get that, and he's like, "Oh, this is a good speech," or a little both?
Yeah, I think it's a little of both. I think he's like,
I don't want to. He's like, I need a speech here, but I don't want to write it. I'll use something that makes no sense in this.
Yeah, copy and paste. I think was how a lot of this movie was written.
Right, but have it make no sense to the Klan, and also use the exact same references from Glenn Ross. So I guess they can't say you're stealing it, but it just makes no sense. But it works, of course.
I mean, they might as well have just used that one. What was it, Django Unchained or whatever, where they might as well just use that scene with the Klan.
That scene was a lot funnier.
Yeah, absolutely. With Jonah Hill.
And Richard Christie from no, actually that's a different movie. That's Harold and Kumar go to White Castle or Guantanamo.
Speaking of Harold and Kumar, they both play roles in stuff we're going to talk about later in the week.
Yes, they do.
That was a pleasant surprise. And did not play out.
And that's and by later in the week, I mean right when we're done with this.
Yeah, that's how these things are recorded. Hey, are you listening to Everybody Lies right now because it's Saturday? Well, no, you're listening to this. But when you're listening to Everybody Lies on Saturday, that's when Mike and I are recording the next week's stuff.
Yeah, it's all magic in the audio.
Yeah, exactly. The time travel.
Speaking of the lack of magic, let's get back to this movie.
Yeah. So anyway, they rescue them from that, and they're like, "Oh, cool." And then at some point, Harley Quinn's like, "Man, the only thing that I wish that I had a dad that would tell me he's a dad, and we could drink coffee." And it's just like it's exactly everything that's going on.
Yeah, and I thought she was aware that he was her dad the whole time, but just not letting on. That's not the case.
No, not at all. She has 3 friends. The silent one. One that's a Chinese person that's apparently supposed to be doing a podcast where she interacts all of...
or she has her impressions of America to China, which makes no sense now, but wait till you see later.
Yeah. And then I can't remember what the other friend is.
It's a Muslim girl who's good at fighting or something.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's a diverse cast of characters. But they've
not diverse in how the characters are, but in their ethnicities. Yeah.
Yeah, diverse in surface appearance only, not in their outlooks or their attitudes or their dialogue or anything like that.
Yeah, they're basically interchangeable.
Yep. And they all didn't know their dads.
And that's how they met online, and they all want to go to Chronicon because the Chinese girl is going back to China, I guess, with her mother. And before they do that, they want to go to Chronicon because for some reason she loves Blood Man and Chronic and has always wanted to go. So that's what they're doing, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of this doesn't make sense. And when we find out what the twist part is, it also doesn't make sense. So anyway, they get to Chronicon and a hologram of Chris Hemsworth. This comes out of nowhere.
I thought that part was kind of funny.
Yeah, that part's sort of funny too, but it comes out of nowhere. I don't know what it's in reference to, but I guess
it's just another celebrity cameo they can get.
Yeah,
like, hey, this guy was in Infinity Gauntlet or whatever.
I think that Kevin Smith just wanted to meet Chris Hemsworth, and that's why it was written in there.
Yeah, maybe these people liked Clerks when they were younger, and that's how they. And I can't imagine they had to do much work on it because the cameos are very brief.
Mm-hmm. Kevin Smith writes some dialogue for his daughter where she says that she wants to ride Chris Hemsworth till she's Thor.
Yeah, that's not weird.
No, yeah, totally normal things to happen.
And then, of course, there's all the hilarious jokes like, oh, that Kevin Smith, he puts his daughter in everything. Ha, 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 ha.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some characters from Yoga Hosers in the audience. I'm not positive.
Yeah, that's what it was. So at one point, Kevin Smith taps this old lady on the shoulder and like kind of waves to her. And I was like, who is that? What is that person from? That's what they're from, Yoga Hosers. That's what it is.
Yeah, so we're at this convention, and the Jay goes a separate way. They want to destroy the convention. The other people want to be part of this cameo in the next Kevin Smith movie.
Right.
Because he's directing Blood Man Chronic 2, which is the movie, obviously, at Chronicon. And I wouldn't be shocked, and actually I'm not shocked because they verified at the end that I think this was Kickstarted or GoFundMe, and some people were able to make cameos in the movie, which is a really terrible cameo at the end.
Yes.
It's just pictures of them with Kevin Smith in the credits.
Very
I would not
horrible.
feel that was worth my money, especially after seeing the movie.
Yeah, exactly. You have to sit through the entire movie to see yourself, so that's not good.
No. And then so Kevin Smith comes out and he goes, "Okay, I'll be back," because that rascally Kevin Smith. What does he have to do every 5 minutes? Smoke weed.
Yeah, it's so funny.
They make a reference to Cop Out too, which whatever. I didn't even see it. I don't care that much.
It's so fresh.
And then Harley Quinn goes, "Wait a second, this Silent Bob guy, he looks just like Kevin Smith." And I'm surprised they didn't put a pause there so people could just bust the gut laughing.
Yeah, I was waiting for the Scooby-Doo sound effect.
Right. So naturally, Silent Bob, pretends to be Kevin Smith. He's very loquacious now. He never speaks a fucking, word, but suddenly in front of a giant audience, he not only is, speaking, very rapidly, he sounds like Kevin Smith. I guess it's Kevin.
Yep, exactly.
And then the girl who wanted to go see Kevin Smith the whole time, twist part, she's actually a secret Russian agent, because that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, she's a secret Russian agent that wants to infiltrate American pop culture and assassinate Kevin Smith on the air to show America how powerful Russia is, I guess. Yeah, that makes no sense at all, ever, in any context, in any decade that the Soviets or Russians have been opposed to us. They have never done anything like this, but it makes sense. None of this makes any sense because, like you said, first of all, just from a regular geopolitical standpoint, it's way too overt from anything they've ever done. Second of all,
during the height of the Cold War did the Russians even presume to do something like that.
Yeah. Second of all, she infiltrates this daddy issues blog so that she can make friends with 3 teenagers, not adults, but 3 teenagers with no cars or money to get from wherever she is in the United States, Chicago or whatever, to California.
Yeah, it's the most serendipitous infiltration of American society ever. everything relies on luck. There's no way she's going there unless this exact sequence of events happens. Even though if she's a Russian agent, they should be able to just fly her there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You know what would be a lot easier? Is to just drop her off at Chronicon. What the fuck? There's no reason for any of this. That should have been... Was that the pitch for the movie? There's no reason for any of this.
Well, he pitched it to himself, so I don't think it really matters what the pitch was. And he was probably high while he did it.
Oh, my God. I'm surprised that he didn't write the script and was thinking like, oh, man, this is really great. This is really great. And then he took his writing hat off and put his director hat on and picked up the script and he was like, I can't film this. This is insane.
If only that happened. Yeah, here we get more cameos. Val Kilmer is actually Blunt Man. Or is he Blunt? Yeah, Blunt Man. And then I think the woman's from something who plays Chronic. Is she from Superman? Idea. I'm not really sure.
No idea.
They reference Mark Hamill, but Mark Hamill wisely doesn't show up.
Oh, yeah. Thank God Mark Hamill wasn't
the original cockknocker. Good for you, Mark Hamill. I'm a huge fan of his work as a Joker. I'm glad that he wasn't available or didn't want to be in this movie because it does nothing for him.
Yep.
So yeah, then there's all these crazy Russian agents in the background, and Kevin Smith is not. And this part again makes no sense. Don't they lock Silent Bob in like a shed or something? And A-Team style, he makes a suit that's an Iron Man, but it's like, what is it called again? I can't remember. They call it something else, Metal Man or something. I don't know.
Blunt Iron. I don't know what the fuck it is.
And this part makes no sense. He starts knocking at the door, why they have a normal door at a Comic-Con convention? I don't know. And then Jay goes, "Oh look, it's metal Silent Bob." As my wife pointed out, how the fuck does he know that he's constructed a metal suit?
We found out that Jay's secret superpower is that he has X-ray vision.
They're like Tomak and Zamet from G.I. Joe. They know what the other one's doing, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. But this is all just so that Kevin Smith can do that shot where he looks like Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man. That's it.
Yes, yeah. So he comes in, they beat the bad guys. I honestly don't remember what happens to this. I know they go back to the quick stop at some point. But obviously, Jay reveals, "Hey, I'm your dad," and cry. And the acting was good in this part. I thought Jay and Harley Quinn did a great job. I mean, if it was a good movie, you would praise the performance. But it's just like it's just weird in this movie because everything else is so bad.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. That's what I want to see them in an actual good movie because that scene in particular, I was like, that's good acting. But that's the only good part of the movie.
Yeah, they go back to the quick stop. I don't know what happened. You see Dante kind of coming up again, not Gil Hicks, Dante.
Yep.
And then they reveal something that's kind of funny, and again, much insider that they're the ones who've been sticking gum in the locks this whole time.
Yeah.
So the very beginning we see of Clerks, that's a reference to something that Jay and Silent Bob are doing. Yeah.
That was the one that was the one callback that I was like, oh, that's kind of funny.
Now, I think I've mentioned this again, but I think Kevin Smith is a very charismatic guy. People are interested in what he does. I think the best work he does is his Kevin Smith conversations where he goes in. I mean, at this point, I'm a huge fan of Dogma. I liked Mallrats, Clerks. Chasing Amy was good too. I liked the first time they did the fan service thing in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. That was funny.
Yeah.
Everything after that, Zach and Miri I thought was okay. I didn't hate it. I liked it. The performances were good. I'm sorry, but more than half his movies are just fucking dog shit. They're terrible. Clerks 2 is not good.
Yep.
This movie is bad.
Yoga Hosers.
Tusk may be interesting. I haven't seen it. I can't imagine it's good, though. Yoga Hosers is unwatchable. Oh, Red State is very good as well, actually. I don't understand. I think maybe he needs to put less of himself into his movies at this point because we've already seen, oh, look, there's these hilarious references, but the almost teenage / Rob Zombie-esque, oh, I'm going on, ride my ass or whatever it is, to their service. Oh, look, it's Chicken Fuckers or whatever it's called. Chicken Fucker. His ideas are not original anymore. I'd love for him to do something completely out of the box, like with Red State, because Red State, I really enjoy. That's a very underrated movie.
Yeah,
Red State, it's comparable with any other horror movie. It's great. It's a great psychological movie. Great performances. Michael Parks is excellent in it. Everyone's good in it. Red State's good. I haven't seen a good thing from him after that. I don't even want to watch the Jay and Silent Bob cartoon. Or was it Clerks cartoon that they did another run on? I loved the Clerks cartoon originally. I can't imagine it's good anymore. much of the early Kevin Smith movies are about a very specific time period. It's a lot of indie like movies coming out. He's in the comics, someone else is. The world that he envisioned has come to pass, and he is just not. He needs to be he needs to be more like a prophet, envisioning the future rather than embracing the past, which is all he's doing at this point.
Yeah, the world has moved on without him, and that's sad, but that's where we're at.
I mean, I've gotten a lot of enjoyment out of his movies, not for a while though, especially not with this one. I mean, I think I'm at the point where I don't think I'm going to see anything he does unless I hear heaping praise from people who aren't Kevin Smith fans.
Yeah, he needs to stop writing movies. If somebody wrote a really good script, he could direct it, and that'd be good.
I don't think he's a great director. I mean, he's serviceable.
Yeah, he's not
I think
great.
He's a really good writer, but he just needs to write about new shit. I mean, yeah, I understand he, wanted to make this, as a fan service. He wanted to get with his old friends again. He obviously had some health issues last year or the year before. I'm glad he seems to be doing better.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's references of veganism because he's a vegan now because you have to put that in the movie.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows if you're a vegan, you have to mention it.
Yes, absolutely.
My 11-year-old is a vegetarian. She's been a vegetarian for over a year now. I never hear her say to anybody, except for when she's ordering food at a restaurant, and I have to remind her half the time that she's a vegetarian. That's might be the only person in the world who doesn't, say, hi, I'm so-and-so, I'm a vegetarian.
Right. Oh, God, yeah.
Actually, she eats fish now, too, so she's a pescatarian.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a complete shit show. If you're Kevin Smith, I wouldn't watch this movie. That's how that's how unenjoyable this movie is. Like, if watching the dailies for this must have been torture. I mean, if he was self-aware at all, this is a fucking
seriously.
I can't imagine watching any. I mean, I imagine a lot of it. He's watching it with the people who he filmed these scenes with, and he's like staring at them, waiting for a reaction. And they're like, "Oh, ha ha ha, that was funny." Because he does put his daughter in a lot of movies. I'm
surprised that the list of editors isn't Kevin Smith, because he usually has an associate editor with him.
And a guy who killed himself while fucking watching the
That's what I was going to say. I'm surprised it's not Kevin Smith, and then a list longer than the visual effects artists at the end of a Marvel movie, because they just kept killing themselves. And you just have to keep replacing them till the movie was finally done.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, I forgot to mention, Kenny Rogers has died today.
So,
he was 81 years old, so hopefully he had he seems like he had a good life. Not a controversial figure, He knew when to hold them, knew when to fold them.
Correct.
Might have finger banged Dolly Parton, maybe. Who knows?
Good for him if he did. But so I guess to close things out, I've got three pieces of mail three emails that I've brought up here. We got some, we got a decent amount, but I handpicked these three. I'm at a loss as to what this one is even about, Mike, but I'll just read it out to you. Hey guys, love the show. I've been watching a lot of movies lately, and I'm wondering, why are there so many Asian people in movies?
Oh no.
Did we play blackjack with you at some point in our lives? Sir?
I hope it's that guy.
That's what I want to know. He says, if it's Jackie Chan or Constance Wu or Henry Golding or Michelle Yeoh or Aquafina, it doesn't matter. They are everywhere. Now, I looked this up. Aside from Jackie Chan, the rest of them are just in the movie Crazy Rich Asians. So I'm wondering if he's just watching Crazy Rich Asians all the time.
He only watches a lot of Asians in these fucking movies.
He says, now, I'm not racist, and it's fine if Asians are in movies, but I'm
surprised it took him that long to say he's not racist.
Right. But it just seems like maybe there should be more whites. There are more of us in America. They always pandering to China. Thanks for your time and your funny show, Rick.
Wouldn't it be great if this guy's name was like Wu-Tang? Or Bobby Digital. What do you have to say about this email, Mark?
I haven't noticed, a lot of Asians in movies. So Jackie Chan hasn't been in a movie in 20 years?
No.
I mean, not one that's popular in the United States anyway. So I don't know exactly what he's talking about.
He's busy supporting the Chinese regime.
Apparently. So yeah, I don't know what he's talking about, but
I don't know. I honestly haven't noticed. I mean, if there are more, I mean,
because Parasite won Best Picture, I guess.
yeah, that's true too. But that's also a Korean movie. I mean, I guess if there are a disproportionate amount of Asians or Latinos or African Americans to the general population in a movie, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I really don't think it's an issue. Honestly, I hope it happens in my lifetime that people won't even notice someone's race in a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, in some contexts, I do think it's a little ridiculous. Like, I'm a huge Idris Elba fan, and I hope he recovers from the coronavirus, which I'm sure he will. He's a pretty healthy guy.
Yeah.
But him being Heimdall, like, I haven't watched the Thor movie. That just is weird to me because of I mean, it's very specific. It's like, Norseman.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, that's like if you did like a Black Panther and it was like fucking like, Black Panther was played by like a Mel Gibson, it wouldn't make any sense.
There's someone super white like Brian Gumble or something like that.
or Eddie Redmayne as is that the whitest guy out there right now, Eddie Redmayne?
I think so, yeah. I think Eddie Redmayne is the whitest.
First of all, you're British.
Yep.
Secondly, you're pasty as fuck.
Yeah. British already gets you to, like 3/4 of the way to all the way white.
That's pretty. I would say that they might be the Scandinavians.
Yeah.
And again, with hair, it makes no sense because Scandinavians are so white, their fucking hair is white.
Yeah. God.
And they're pieces of shit in general.
Let's eat some rotting fish.
Hey, thanks for listening. We'll make sure not to mention any fucking Asians from now
on. Okay. Yeah. So the title of this next one is "You a Pansy?" with a question mark. Mark, what are you? Some kind of mangina? From what you've said on the show, it's clear that you like the Marvel movies, but you let Mike shit all over them and never say shit. Stand up for movies you like, bro. Tell that piece of shit Mike to shut up about the MCU. The movies are all awesome, except for Captain Marvel. Love the show, Tristan.
Tristan? What kind of someone named Tristan can't fucking call someone a pansy.
Okay.
What are you, a hacker from the future, Tristan?
Right. So Tristan,
remember in Blade Runner when Tristan betrayed Decker?
So Tristan, the answer to your question of why I don't like stand up more for the Marvel movies is you. You and all the like. Here's the thing. So
why don't you and Rick get together and go watch Doctor Strange? Yeah. You can see the
Benedict Wong and
yeah, he's white as fuck. What's the Oracle, the bald-headed person?
Oh, the ancient one, I think.
Yeah, they whitewashed that character. Wasn't Asian, but you don't have to worry about that.
Yep, exactly. But
Aquafina's on that one.
So, I in general think most of the not all the Marvel movies. But by the way, every like hardcore MCU fanboy has one movie they don't like, and I think it's like telling that yours is Captain Marvel.
And it usually features a woman.
Yep. But the Black Widow movie, if that ever comes out because of coronavirus, that'll be the new one that everyone hates. But or all these super bros hate. But anyway, I think most of them are in general fine movies. Mike and I disagree on a lot of the Marvel movies. In that, and Mike, I think you'd actually really like The Winter Soldier, which is not a movie that I think you really need to see the other movies to see.
But I don't think I need to see any of the movies.
But it's kind of like a Jason.
Defend them.
It's kind of like a.
What are you, a pansy?
It's kind of like a Jason Bourne like spy thriller, The Winter Soldier. I think it's the best one of those movies. But anyway,
with superpowers.
I in general like most of the Marvel movies, but it's the same thing with Star Wars. In a very and I don't like most of the Star Wars movies, but I feel the same way about it as I feel about Star Wars. I have a very passing general fanship of them, where when one comes out, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll probably see that eventually. But what is the worst thing about it, just like with Star Wars, is you hardcore fans. It's the absolute worst, and it makes it intolerable. And I don't want to pander to any of you type of fans out there because I think you're all fucking dumb.
Yeah, Tristan, fuck you. Fuck your brother Rutherford. Fuck your sister. What's her name again? Scarlett.
Yeah, there you
go. Fuck all you. Your mom and dad for these stupid fucking names.
So in general, when Mike's,
I have a cousin Tristan. He's cool though.
In general, when Mike talks about like Marvel fans living in their mom's basement and stuff like that, I agree with that stuff because most of the hardcore fans are man children. Sorry, but you are. I mean, that's just how it is. Tristan,
feel free to come on the show. We'll talk about Marvel.
Yeah, you come on. When Black Widow comes out, we'll invite you on the show, Tristan. So write me if you want to be on the show, you fuck.
Yeah, from whatever your at yahoo.com email address is, go ahead and send Mark another email.
Yep. So this last one.
Prodigy.net.
This last one is the most normal of all of them. It says, "Hey guys, I love your show. You guys are absolutely hilarious. I didn't listen to podcasts until I discovered your show, but now I listen to a few of them. I was inspired to write you because I saw a truly terrible quote film on YouTube called How Can I Tell If I'm Really in Love?" I have somewhat of a familiarity with this movie. Well, this thing actually. He says it's less than an hour and seems like a self-help video from the 80s, but stars Justine Bateman, Jason Bateman, and Ted Danson. You
talked about this before.
I think so, yeah. It's incredibly weird, and I think you two would have a field day with it for dumpster diving. Would you please do it? And then he says, P.S., when are we going to hear this Danny DeVito impression, Mark?
Yeah, come on. I think I sent you a clip of somebody doing a Danny DeVito impression, but in this time being quarantined, have you worked on it for 1 second?
No.
Let's hear it now, Mark. Our good friend, whatever his name is, would love to hear it.
Sorry, his name is
Tristan?
No, his name is Brandon.
Brandon. That's a good solid American name, Brandon.
So I got this, I did work on it for a second. I didn't get to Danny DeVito, but I discovered that I can do Bernie Sanders kind of.
That's not too far off.
Because I was like, I said to Carol, I was like, Bernie Sanders was on the TV, and she heard him, and like,
are you someone his age? He was on the TV.
Well, she didn't know that the TV was on. So all of a sudden, she heard Bernie Sanders' voice, and she kind of jumped. And I said, "It's okay. He's not here." I was like,
"Yes."
I was like, yeah, Bernie Sanders is coming door to door. Be like, I just wanted to check on you. I want to make sure that the billionaires and the millionaires are not the only ones that can get healthcare at this time, and I want to make sure that everybody is taking care of themselves.
But not bad.
But yeah, so I kind of got to Bernie Sanders. I'll continue to work on.
Combine Bernie Sanders with your dad, and I think you have Danny DeVito.
Oh.
Can we hear that right now, Mark?
Okay, well, my dad would be like.
That's a very good impression for those of you who didn't have the fortune of knowing the senior.
So let's see. If you can go in, I'm trying to merge them together. I did listen to a couple of Danny DeVito things yesterday to try to kind of get.
You need to be like the guy from Mad TV. Just put like a on a loop, like dialogue of Danny DeVito for like 24 hours and just listen to it.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do, but I'm going to try to get there. It's very like generic New York accent.
Exactly, but it's like
Yeah, but it's kind of like he's not as hard on some of the inflections as like a stereotypical New Yorker would be. So it's
what I think you need to do is you need to find a word that's very characteristic of like his voice, like maybe 3 syllable or so, and you'll notice a little weird nuances he puts on it, and then I think you'll get it there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna work on that. I'll debut it next week, and we'll see what happens. As far as how can I tell if I'm really in love?
That sounds fine. I'm more than that. We could do that. I was talking about doing The Craft because I saw it and I wouldn't have to watch an extra movie. Mm-hmm. But that How I Met Your Mother thing you're talking about, how I know I'm in love, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a Carter Bay's joint. How do I know if I'm really in love? I figure we can we could look at that and see. So we'll take a look and get back to you on that one.
Yeah, that's. I think that's it. Do we have anything else to say? Any more dead or gay people you can think of?
Not that I can think of, no.
Ooh, I thought of another timely game we could play, but of course I just thought of it now. Corona or no Corona.
Oh, okay. Well,
Because a widening list of celebrities who, it's super urgent they get tested before anybody else.
Yep, absolutely.
Have been diagnosed. Maybe we shouldn't play that game, actually. It might not turn out as good as I thought.
Well, we could do it next week, Corona.
I don't think so, because some of them might not be as healthy as I hope.
Right, yeah. That's true. I guess
But then they would qualify for another game, and that is okay to play it that way.
Right?
Yes.
All right. Well, we will see you next week. Bye.
See you next time.